this game and the Newcastle game for Liverpool show why Van Dijk is the best centre back of all time. I think these two games
of all time,
bro. Standard. He's the best centre back.
Do you know what?
Wait. You've been taking your vitamins today. You've been taking your vitamins today, D. What's going on?
I've always said that. I've always said that. I'm the one that argues for it. Van Dijk is the best centre back of all time. I've seen all of them. I've seen all the guys that everyone talks about. The Ramoses, the Maldinis, the Nestors, the Cannavaros. I've seen all of them. I'm the only one that says he is by far and away the best centre back I've ever seen. And the reason why I'm saying that as well, you can't get better than what listen, do you know what it is when people say he's the best centre back of all time? Yeah. Like, you can't get better than what he is. So you can match it if you want, but you can't get better than that. And you're not going to see a centre back better than that. You will see a centre back as good as. You'll never see a centre back better than that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't exist. So the first thing is, like, he's the best centre back of all time. The second thing is these two games showed why. Both of these games showed why he's the best centre back, because he was the only reason why they managed to get through the Newcastle game, and it's the only reason why they managed to get past the Arsenal game. He's the only reason. Anyhow, there's anyone else that's playing with any of those players, it just doesn't work. He's the only reason, bro. Yeah, he's the best centre back you will ever see. And people can say, "Oh no, he's not Maldini." I saw Maldini when they don't even know that Maldini was a right back before he was a left back.
He was, yeah.
Maldini was a right back, then a left back, then a centre back, then back to left back. They don't even remember Cannavaro. They don't remember Lucio. These guys, I remember these guys growing up. These are the guys that Van Dijk, is whatever you see and whatever you're saying that you're gonna see. There's only a level. You can't get higher than Van Dijk's level. That's the point I'm making. Whether people think Ramos or all of this stuff, that's fine, but you cannot get higher than what Van Dijk is doing. There's no centre. But I wasn't alive for the Beckenbauers and the Bobby Moores and all those guys, so I can't talk about them guys. But Van Dijk is. People can say what they want, but you've never seen anything as good as that before. I've seen Terry, Ferdinand, Rio, Ledley King, Yap Stam. They weren't as good as Van Dijk, bro. They weren't as good as Van Dijk. They weren't as good as Van Dijk. No one was as strong as Van Dijk. Van Dijk has never been barged off the ball ever. He's never been outpaced.
Once by Raheem Sterling. Once by I know.
But every time something happens,
Martinelli chief him up as well.
Chief him up. Every time there's a battle with Van Dijk and he loses the battle, it becomes a big deal because it hardly ever happens. It becomes a big deal because it never ever happens. He's never out of position. He's a rock star. No matter who he plays with, they look world class. No matter who Van Dijk plays with, you play with Matip is world class. You play with Gomez is world class. You play with Konate is world class. Whoever Van Dijk plays with becomes world class. That's how good Van Dijk is. Van Dijk can play left centre back and right centre back better than everyone in the world. There's no centre back, even in this day and age, in the last 10 years, that are even close to this guy. Let alone now. Like now, when people talk about Saliba and Gabriel and that, them man are not. They're a level below Van Dijk. They're a level below. Van Dijk's up there in a tier of his own. It's like Messi when he's on his own. He's on his own. He's completely on. See Van Dijk, he's in the bracket of Messi and Ronaldo.
You're gonna make me shed a tear.
I'm being serious, bro.
Full screen this guy, man. Full screen this guy, man. God damn, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm being serious. I've been saying this for ages, bro. Van Dijk's in the Messi and Ronaldo category, bro. He's in that tier, bro. You get me? That's where he is, bro.
Do you know what? At first I was a bit like shocked with what you said, because obviously your time is your opinion, but because you see when you normally think of the best centre back of all time debate, like you said, the Moores, Beckenbauers, the Baresis, the Maldinis, Yapstan, Cannavaro, they all come up. But I weren't old enough to see them not in their prime. So I would say Van Dijk's the best ever centre back I've seen in it. But I haven't seen as much centre backs as you. But normally the general consensus is Van Dijk's in the conversation. But there's still people.
He can't touch the Baresis. He can't.
Yeah, but you know what they do. You see what it is. Roms. Yeah. What happens is, art gets more expensive with time, doesn't it? It becomes more of a classic over time. Yeah. That's what happens with classic material. And you see, like right now, you will say De Bruyne, he's nowhere near Gerrard. In 8 years' time, you might start appreciating how good De Bruyne was, and then you start comparing him to certain players. Like for us, we say Gerrard's way clear of De Bruyne, but then over time, you start appreciating it. Van Dijk is in that bracket now, where maybe now you might not appreciate it now, but in 10 years' time, you're going to be like, you know what? There was no one that was even close to this guy.
Do you know
what defender comes close to Van Dijk?
I agree with you. I don't think
Van
that
Dijk is comfortably, bro. Me and Roms, we don't even like discuss how good Van Dijk is because it's a week in, week out thing.
Word, it's become the norm for
So sometimes I was the other day, someone was like, "Rah, Konate was immense against Arsenal," and he was. Konate was very good in the game that we played against you guys. And then someone said, "What about Van Dijk?" I thought he was brilliant as well, and I said, "Yeah, Van Dijk's so good." And I kind of just like,
you brush it off.
That's that every week. But then I kind of beat it. I was like, "Bro, why am I sitting here normalizing what this guy's doing? It's not normal."
He never has a bad game, bro. He has a bad game once every 3 years. He'll make one not error. He won't be there to save the day, and that's classed as him being having a bad game.
Because his bad game is another centre back's greatest game, like probably their best game they're ever going to play.
I'm going past all that. I'm not doing this whole half-height. I've gone past all that. You see what you're saying? His bad game is another centre back's greatest game, bro. His best game no one's ever been as good as that ever. That's what I'm on.
Do you know
his best game you can't match?
Do you know why it's refreshing to even hear what you just said? Yeah, because I can't remember who it was, but I was watching a podcast the other day, and someone said, like, nostalgia can cloud a lot of these debates. Yeah, have you realized in modern day football, if you say someone is currently playing can chat to people of the past, it automatically gets shut down. Like, look, I'm not going to open this can of worms again because Mons and D, you two have gone back and forth, but even the Suarez and Henry debate, right? I'll say from now, I think Henry was better. Mons obviously thinks Suarez was, right? But it's like people think that can't be a conversation just because one's more recent than the other. I feel like nostalgia sometimes can just automatically give the older player the advantage. Like, oh, what you saying? You didn't watch football back then. It's like, no, sometimes players that are playing now can hang with them guys, can be in them conversations. So it's actually...
They can do, but the difference is with Henry and Suarez, for example, when you're comparing yesteryear and now, is when you look at both players, whatever Suarez was doing, we haven't seen a peak what Henry was doing. So when we saw what Suarez was doing, yes, we could say he's got accolades and he was playing at a high level, but we've seen that before with Henry.
Yeah, he's saying with Van Dijk. We haven't seen it. He's saying with Van Dijk.
We ain't seen what Van Dijk. Everyone can say they have, and yeah, this guy was as good as that guy, and they're cool. But the only thing the only argument that stacks up is the strikers are not as good. That's the only argument that people can say, which is a fair comparison. Yeah, you ain't got the strikers of the Henry. You're not playing against Henry and Ian Wright and even the lower level players like the Andy Johnsons. These guys were 30 goal season strikers, you know, Kevin Phillips and Niall Quinns. These guys are 20 goal season strikers.
That's a very important part of the argument, though.
No, it is. It is. That's the point
I would argue that's the most important part of the argument.
But then you could
also say that Messi and Ronaldo were at their peak, weren't at that time either. Like Messi
played against the two best ever,
and he's done both of them, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like that word.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
and these are also some of the record breakers. The records are there to be broken, and the guys that Van Dijk has played against have broken the records of those that were worshipped as well. So that's another.
I think I feel like in conversations there needs to be a little bit of balance in it when you have conversations in it, and like, don't get me wrong. If you wanted to say the type of defender Van Dijk is, like the way he defends, probably the best of all time, fair play. If you want to say currently Van Dijk is the best defender in the world, fair play. When you start moving into realms of best of all time and better than Maldini and better than Nestor and better than, you know, John Terry and these, man, cool. Football is that is basically subjectivity in it. Like, everyone can have their own opinion in it, you know.
Yeah, that we literally said these opinions
is the realm of subjectivity in it, but
it's an unpopular opinion what these said. Yeah,
VDD like in realms of Messi and Ronaldo, I think we go in a bit far. Especially, and do you know why? Because the flip side is Messi and Ronaldo, they went up against a whole host of not even just bad man defenders, bad man mid, like DMs, bad man mid. They went up against a whole host of like they're at the level that they're at because they batted up bare different man that man rated, didn't it? Like I just don't know about the people that Van Dijk has gone up against, didn't it? Now I'm not saying I'm not saying that he's again, because I'm always very conscious when I'm speaking in a Liverpool heavy chat in it, because you say 9 good things and then 1 bad thing, and it's like you're enemy of the state.
No, Hooks, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's not
no. It's honestly, it's just with Liverpool fans. But
no. Hooks, that's life in general, bro. You can say 9 good things, one bad thing. Honestly, people remember the bad thing, bro.
No. Honestly, I promise you, it's just Liverpool fans, isn't it? But the let's be real. Like Virgil van Dijk is currently, and probably for the last, I don't know, 7 to 8 years, best defender in the world. But outside of that, I don't know, innit? Like everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and it is what it is, innit? But I don't know, man. And definitely making like grand conclusions off of the back of like winning 3-2 at Newcastle and 1-0 against Arsenal. I don't know. To me, it seems like, I don't know, a bit too much in it. But obviously,
yeah. But do you want to know where? Before I get to the super chats, do you want to know where I stand? I don't. And surprisingly, I don't actually stand with D, because as I said, D's seen more than me. But what I say, don't get me wrong, VVD is the best defender I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And obviously, even though I was around with the Stamps, I was around with them, man, I wasn't an adult. And I always like to think when you're an adult, even though you've seen it, when as an adult, you understand the game a bit more. You know what I'm saying? I think that's fair to say.
Once, that's why what D's saying is valid, because we didn't see the Maldini's races. We weren't old enough to understand. He was. Yeah.
But me personally, I don't go as far as D. I think Van Dijk still has to probably win a few more things to touch. Maybe, as I said, the Rios, the Maldinis, the Barresis, a few of those guys, just in terms of accolades. No, but hold on, let me land. But my opinion is, in terms of the 2019 Van Dijk, I'm very specific when I have this argument. When we talk about Van Dijk, I'm talking about the 2019 Van Dijk from 2017 to 2020. That is the best. That is the best. I don't think it gets better. Before that ACL, I don't think it gets better than that. That version of Van Dijk.
It don't get much better than what we've seen now. He's not as good as he's not as good as no, but you're saying he's not as good. But you see now what he can do now.
That's how high the level was. The drop down from what he is now is still the best.
I don't think he's dropped down. What you're saying is that he doesn't look as athletic. Well, you see what he's doing now. He's able to add experience to what he's had before, so he's able to now manage the games better. He knows exactly what to do. He
has bad games, but he definitely has bad games. Like he's had.
He never loses the ball either. He's the best ball playing centre back in the league easily. He's the best defender, 1v1 defender. He's the best at defending corners. He's the most dangerous, arguably, with Gabriel at attacking corners. So all the attributes that you put someone else with, that you say that they could be better than him at, he's up there.
As a monster, his attributes wise, he's better than everyone. Attributes wise,
but he's the best thinking. He's the best thinking defender as well,
and he's even the best passer. He's even the best, and he even can score free kicks. Like it's. I don't know if you remember Michael Owen speaking about Van Dijk when he speaks about he's stronger than everyone, he's faster than everyone. Like he's better on the ball than
every striker. Watch this, yeah. Speak to any striker, yeah, and they say who the hardest defender to play against. Every single person will tell you Van Dijk. And speak to anyone that says to you who when they say who's the hardest defenders, who the hardest striker they play against, or who's the best midfielder, most of them will say Dembele. If you speak to them about strikers, they'll give you a plethora of strikers. So Lescott, when I talk to Jolien, he says Sahar was the hardest striker he played against. If you talk to,
he said that on the pod as well. I think of Aki, he said that on the pod.
If you speak to another centre back, they might say it was Andy Johnson or Suarez. Nobody.
What do you reckon JT would say? 'Cause a lot of people are throwing JT's name in there. Obviously, we know JT's one of the.
I want to
good
go on a
defenders
key
and that.
point. That you,
But obviously,
I
I was just asking the obviously with JT and that. Do you reckon he would put VVD in the similar? Would you think he would speak about him the way that you're speaking about him right now? Do you think?
Probably not, because JT has to play.
Pride there, though, isn't it? That he's not going to want to say
play against all the best strikers of all time. Like what Hook said is a valid point. Like he had to play against Henry. He had to play against every type of striker, the best strikers of all time. He was training against Drogba every day. So that's a big thing for them. Like Izzy, if you speak to Izzy, who like would have been the youngest Premier League player ever, he's convinced that Joe Cole's the best kind of, for example, player that he's ever seen, that everyone talks about. And he would tell you that playing against people like Joe Cole, there's no players that are even close to Joe Cole in this day and age, let alone the strikers like Henry and that who we class as the best ever. You know what I'm saying? So when Izzy talks about, he would never say Van Dijk's better than any of these defenders. He would put Sol Campbell better than Van Dijk.
Do you know what? There's one thing you said once, which this is why I think we need to be careful of how we word things. Yeah, you know, you said Van Dijk needed to. You know, when I speak about who's the best, normally everything comes into it. So longevity, ability, trophy.
Yeah, and it comes into the argument like, are you talking prime or overall? Like when I say Van Dijk's the best, I say prime because you see white tape below the shin pads, Van Dijk.
Yeah. With the New Balance, in the
collar.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, Munch? Yeah, I've always said ability.
No, with the collar. It's the collar. Nah.
What I was saying, yeah, ability-wise, yeah, I was saying Van Dijk. I was saying this from time ago, from that season, Munch. Ability-wise, Van Dijk's the best centre back I've seen, yeah. But when you speak about overall, other factors come into it. This is why I had Rio and Terry, not on ability, keywords, never on ability. But this is why I had Rio and Terry kind of ahead of him at one point, because not only they were one of the best we've seen in the Prem, they also had the accolades over it. That's why Van Dijk needed an extra Prem and probably even needs one more or extra Champions League just to properly solidify him. But when you say who's the best centre back you've seen ability-wise, it's Van Dijk. But I don't always like the trophy talk though, because trophy shouldn't also always quantify your ability. Because for me, after Van Dijk, Gabriel's currently now the best centre back in the league. He's won nothing. Do you get? But then you might get some City fans in that say, yeah, but Diaz is better than because he's won Prems. I hate that. Just because you've lifted trophies doesn't mean you're automatically better than a next man, because we could start plucking out stupid examples like players that have won bare stuff and a player that's won nothing, but then you just know with your eyes that player is clear of the other player. I don't like when people use the trophy talk.
Roms, and this is why I don't really like having these conversations online, because, like, for example, if I was to say, I had to be very clear. I'm not saying this because Liverpool fans, North Korea, all up in the place. It's long, but if someone was to say Tony Adams is better than Virgil van Dijk, they would say, but Tony Adams has never won a Champions League. But then the same people that would say that are the same people that would say R9 is clear of Henry, but R9 never won a Champions League. So this is why I don't like having these. Yeah, but I don't really like having conversations about who's better than who, because at the end of the day, there's never a right answer. Do you know what I mean? And you're either going to be with the crowd or you're going to be against the crowd, innit? And it just becomes a point scoring kind of exercise.
But that's what football's about, though.
Yeah, it's about debate, and it's even like the message. You know what, Dees? Even like the
Messi and Ronaldo debate lasted for 20 years.
No, but even now, this brings us to my point. Obviously, if you're Messi, Ronaldo, man, cool. I'm a Messi guy, but I've heard Ronaldo, man, wanting to link up with Messi guys. Bro, they go mad, bro. This is what I mean. This is the thing with football. You're always going to have a difference. The thing is, yeah, my boy said to me the other day, yeah, but if you know ball, everyone knows Messi's the best ever. But then it's like, hold on, you're saying that, but there's a bag of Ronaldo fans that you've not spoke to that will argue night and day, explaining why CR7's the GOAT, and they'll have their examples and they'll probably have their arguments and things they can bring up as well. But just because you think something's a general consensus doesn't mean that's actually what it is. Because sometimes when I say, "Oh, listen, people know Messi's the best in that," you'll get CR7 fans wanting to do X, Y, Z, and this, that, and other. And that's just an example. I remember back in the day, sometimes when you have debates with, this is why I'm kind of annoyed about social media now, because I hate when you have player A and player B. You say player A is better, and people automatically think you think B is crap, and that's not what you said. You've literally just said you have a preference. Do you get? See, back in the day when we're in the playground and whatnot, like you could generally have your debates, and you don't have to go to socials and whatnot to kind of influence your decision. You would have debates because you would literally just be watching it with your brethren, and you can obviously make up your own stuff. But nowadays, it's like, oh, you said A is better than B, but no, I rate both of them, bro. I just think one's better than the other.
There are some statements that are like clear as day. You know what I'm saying? Like Tony Adams is nowhere near Van Dijk. I'm saying I don't care what people think. That's a foolish statement.
I didn't.
Then you got other statements like Ronaldinho, for example. Like, what's more debatable is Ronaldinho is better than Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, they're the ones that people be like, oh, how come Ronaldinho to me will always be better than Cristiano Ronaldo? You understand?
Yeah, so this is what I mean. It should be down to who you like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we should have I don't know, like the conversation about who's like, how do you prove who's factually better?
This is my point, Hooks. Do you get it? Like,
you can't prove who's factually better. So like, I feel like it's just better to have conversations about who.
And do you know what? Like. People shoot themselves in the foot because Messi fans will say, I think Messi's the best player I've ever seen. I'll put that out there. But if you say to Messi fans say he's the best ever. Why? He won 8 Ballon d'Ors. But then you need to be consistent, because if you now have another player debate where the player you think's better didn't win a Ballon d'Or, your argument's now flawed. It's now flawed straight away.
Specific with your argument. Like, as I said, everyone has preferences and popular and unpopular opinions. In terms of, as I said, the Suarez one's an unpopular opinion on my part. You know, a lot of people put like Rio and Terry and that over Van Dijk for the argument that these put towards us just now. You know, I even think Busquets personally is the best defensive midfielder to grace the league personally. That's my. I don't think that's even like a debate. People put other. There's loads of other. Don't get me wrong. There's competitors, but I just think no one's ever had a better brain.
This is why the trophy thing's done, because City. I've heard this, but last summer City fans would say, "But where's Busquets' Ballon d'Or?" But there's context. He was playing with Messi, and you see what I mean. Trophies.
There's of course.
The whole point of football though is to have these debates, because I would want to know, like, when you say Busquets is the best DM, who would you put in that bracket with him?
Kante, Makalele.
Makalele's in there.
You would say Makalele,
Kante's in there. Those are the two that come to mind.
You're putting people like Pirlo and people like that in there.
I think Pirlo is there as well, but I think as a brand, he's bigger than like Kante and that. But for me, Pirlo's there as well. But in terms of that like DM position, bro, I just don't think.
Bro, Pirlo as a control eye, Pirlo.
Like Pirlo is crazy though. But
bro, I wish I could actually like make Pirlo be young again, so I could just watch him play football.
Yeah, I mean, you could even throw Clarence Seedorf in there, but even though he wasn't like a proper 6, but Clarence, people say that Clarence Seedorf was actually better than all these guys. There are pros. None of these guys get near Clarence Seedorf.
How about this month? How about
like they put him with what's my man with the they put him in the Ruud Gullit conversations. That's where they put Seedorf. You know, that's who they go when pros speak about Seedorf. That's where they actually put him. Like they go,
Seedorf's up there, bro. You don't remember Seedorf, do you? You don't remember him.
You get it? Like
I only remember.
There's no player in the Premier League now better than Seedorf.
No, of course not.
I only remember when he got big. Do you get it? I didn't see prime Seedorf. Do you know what I mean,
bro? I'm saying the way the pros talk about Seedorf, because Seedorf for me didn't have the same like. He didn't have the same.
It's like even my. This is why trophies are slightly important as well, though. It's like even my dad. My dad said one of the best 10s, one of his best favorite ever plays is Riquelme, but his longevity was so short. Like
his move didn't work out as well. And
he was beefing with Van Gaal, and Van Gaal didn't like him and weren't starting him for Barcelona. But my dad would always tell me, them 2-3 years at his peak, there was not a lot of 10s at that time,
bro. But Rom, this is what I mean when I say like
he didn't win a lot. So
when a move doesn't go the perfect way for for someone nowadays. I do think it's amplified more than when it would like back then, because back then there were players at the top of their game whose moves didn't go the greatest. Like Ronaldinho's AC Milan move was still good, but it wasn't like he wasn't in his prime like he was in his Barcelona move, which is fair because sometimes, as I said, the Brazilians I've always feel like age a little bit quicker than everyone else in terms of their footballing longevity. But like for me, you're gonna say I'm being biased. Everyone's gonna say it's a bias. I think Thiago Alcantara is not far off of like if we're talking ability and what like for Bayern and for Barcelona, maybe not so much Liverpool, brother. He is up there with the all-time greats. If you have a like Thiago Alcantara is one of the greatest in my opinion.
You need to retitle this nostalgia.
We can change the title, but I'm just saying like Thiago Alcantara can chat to Lamps, Gerrard. He can chat to them, man. You know, I'm sorry, he can chat to them, man.
Only because of longevity, he can't.
No, but you know what,
bro? Thiago Alcantara can chat to some of the greatest.
Yeah. In terms of that's the reason why they started getting rid of the Xavi and moving those guys on. That's the reason why.
Like, bro, I'm just saying. You see that dying breed of the Iniestas. You know the Iniestas. Like Thiago was like the dying kind of breed. Like even Cesc Fabregas, bro. Cesc Fabregas.
After Gerrard, my favorite centre midfielder.
Like Cesc Fabregas.
People don't give him enough.
Fabregas can't chat to them.
He's an alien. He's an alien. Like Cesc Fabregas. These guys, bro.
Fabregas can't chat to them.
Wait, can't chat to who?
Fabregas can't chat to Iniestas and all that.
He can't chat to Iniesta.
He can chat to the Premier League sentiment. I have Fabregas ahead of
Fabregas don't get in the Premier League 11.
Mine he does. I'm sorry.
No way.
For him to be doing what he's doing at 21 in that,
he don't get in there, bro.
Come back and win back to back. Come back and win Prems as well. But the thing is, I just said, as I said, that for me, like as I said, Thiago can chat to the Premier League greats, bro. I don't care what no one says in it. Thiago can chat.
The moves are very important. A player's moves are very important because at PSG,
of course,
some say that JJ Okocha was better than Ronaldinho. One ends up at Bolton, the other AC Milan,
Barcelona.
So
Barcelona,
I think that moves do play a part in the player's
You're spot on, Hooks.
And also the way people kind of peter out at the latter ends of their career. I think sometimes people dwell on that too much, like Yaya Toure, because of the way he kind of fizzled out at Man City. People forget that Yaya Toure's prime weren't far off of the big three. You know what I'm talking about when I say the big three, innit?
Eden Hazard as well. Eden Hazard once. You know that's my guy, bro. At his peak, it was only Messi and Ronaldo that were better than him. Let's keep it a buck, bro.
Shout out the South Stand, really. Let me get to these super chats quickly before because I like this conversation.
The Hook said better than who?
No, who was he talking about? Better than who?
Yaya Toure.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Let me get to these supers as well. Big up the chat for the supers. I hope you lot I put W's in the chat if you guys are enjoying this type of chat. Then obviously, like, you know,
Neymar. Sorry, chat. Neymar's my favorite ever player. So
Neymar's for me. Neymar's one of the most disrespected ballers of all time. But
Neymar's nowhere near any of these guys, man.
We need to do a separate stream. We need to do
a separate stream for that one. The Neymar things, Shout out, it's Mikey goes, yo, D, stay off the weed. I think he was talking about that's referring to the Van Dijk. Shout out, it's Mikey goes, name me the top strikers VVD has gone up against in his era. What are you on about? I seen Rio and Terry playing against Drogba, RVP, Suarez, Ronaldo. But when you say gone up against, you know these man broke up Rio because Rio was in his older years. Rio was older these times. You're telling me about Messi used to broke up Rio. Messi used to broke him up. Why man? I'm like he didn't broke up Rio. Have you seen Rio speak about brother? These men you're saying used to go up against. Are we talking go up against? Or we talk about dominate?
What I would say, Mons.
No, but
I would say, Mons, that era of late.
VVD played against a lot of these men as well, you know. Please.
He did, but like you said, towards the back end of their career, because if you go late 90s, early noughties.
Like the back end of the career, the man that the Messi's and that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Because I was gonna say, if you go like late 90s, early noughties, I didn't obviously watch all these men in their peak, but you can just do your research. The R9s, the Henrys, the Zlatan, Shevchenkos, the DIJK, the Batistuta, all them strikers. This is why some people say they can't hold VVD to that regard because he wasn't playing against the era of the best nines. I don't agree with the argument, but I get the argument. 100% get the arguments because late 90s and early 2000s, for me, when you look back, had the best nines. And when you look at what they could do and whatnot, I think their nines then were better than the nines now.
Shout out Ennis. You go deep. Blink twice if you're in danger.
I'll get held to ransom, bro. Trust me, bro. I've seen all of these guys, man. That's the best I've seen, bro. Trust me.
Shout out Tang Yang with the $10 super chat. Big up your damn self. He goes, I think you have to take into consideration the players those other defenders face. Van Dijk is class. I will pay to see Van Dijk versus Ronaldo to see the battle. I'm thinking he's talking about R9 and not see it because he's come up.
For me, that's the only player I don't think he can handle. You know,
the level of attack.
R9 at Inter Milan R9 is chefing.
What R9 was better for you?
Chefing up.
What R9 was better? What R9 was better for you? PSV, Inter, or Barca? Because they were his top three clubs. When he was about
for me, I don't know. For me, I really like the Inter R9.
Inter Milan. Because you know the step over drop when the keeper drops.
Tells me PSV. He said PSV R9.
You know that one step over and the drop on the shoulder, the keeper would just get left every time.
Bad up, bare man. No, it was dark. It was dark. I am sorry.
No, used to going.
It was too dark.
Do you know what's not really said about R9? Very rarely spoken about. You know, like he got all the goals he got, and he still missed chances. You know.
Yeah.
And he still like go watch 90 minutes back. You know, he'd miss a couple of sitters sometimes, and man would just laugh it off and then just go take on 3-4 man and smack it bins straight after.
But even KJ saying his stats says PSV. Apparently, PSV he was as good, if not better than Inter. Obviously, I don't know. I weren't about them times, but PSV. I'm hearing at 18, he got over 40 goals in a season or something.
Yeah, he was kept off, man. He was how does Van Dijk fare against? Remember Inter Milan Adriano when he was on Pro Evolution Soccer, bro? When the guy was strong, blood.
I used to have him and Rakova.
Yeah,
not a female guy.
Man said Adriano.
The strikers, the quality of strikers back then is definitely better than the quality of strikers back now. So
I think if there's two strikers,
but I think the average defender now is better than the average defender then because of sports science and everything like that.
Do you know what? If I have to be honest here, and I'm biased,
no way. The average defender back then's bro.
No. I think the best defenders back then were better. The top defenders back then are better than the top defenders now. But the average defender, they were bare fish and chips defenders back then. Bare.
No. The average defender now is way worse than the average defender then.
Not for me.
Of course it is. Look at the England team. You got John Stones and Gahey.
I'm talking about the average.
You got people like Tarkowski.
That's not the player.
You got what, who did Tarkowski play? Who did Tarkowski play with? Who did Tarkowski play with at Everton? Tarkowski and who was it again? At Burnley. Burnley.
Ben Mee.
You got Ben Mee. You got. Bruv, come on, bruv. Back then, the standard, the Lescott's and all them, man. Lescott would have been the main English centre back now.
Back to what I was saying, the only two strikers I think that would have, in my opinion, given him Van Dijk hell is literally R9 and Henry. But is he Henry? When you hear him speak, he does the humble thing. I hear Henry, a year ago say, I can't lie, I don't know how I would have done against Van Dijk. It was waxing lyrical about him, but Henry's just saying that. He waxes lyrical about, I think, anyone, because if they played him in his prime, he's probably tearing them up as well. But they're the only two
when I can't remember who asked him, but someone asked him about is he chefing up Kyle Walker?
Henry.
In the race. Yeah, Henry, and he's
Grealish asked that.
Yeah, you're like, what? Me? Like,
he said, yeah, he would.
That's what the thing is. Yeah, Henry is to a I think it depends on what you talk to him about, but Henry now is more humble. But if Henry was in his prime,
that's what I'm saying.
The game now.
Yeah.
And you asked him, what's he doing against Van Dijk? But he's telling you, I'm chefing him up every time.
Of course he's gonna say that. But only you're talking about one of the greatest strikers of all time, though.
Then we speak about in your opinion, the best defender of all time. So it's a very
who do you think wins that 1v1?
That's what I'm saying. Those arguments are different.
Bro, no, I would always favor the attacking. Defenders are there to get bun up, bro.
Henry's a different breed, man.
No, but I call Mods.
Listen, Henry's destroying. Look what he's destroying Ramos. He's destroying PK. He's moving to Cannavaro. He's battering up all these men as well, bro. Don't think he ain't. He's running straight past Nesta.
But you know what it is? You got to remember, it's not always.
This is a question for you, yeah. 2003 Henry versus 2019 Van Dijk. That is crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, safe.
That's crazy.
I don't know who's winning that.
Crazy.
I'm interested. Who wins that?
2019 Van Dijk.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But I think Henry's a serious guy, and I think Van Dijk's a serious guy. That's a tough one because Van Dijk can match him for pace as well.
Yeah.
I think it will be one of those battles where Henry walks away with a goal and an assist, but the game probably ends 2-2 and you say it was a good battle.
That might walk away with a goal and assist. That's the difference.
Yeah. That's a man. That man. He's a bullet header.
He's on that. He's on competing. You know what I'm saying? He never hides. He never shies away. He's a serious guy, bro.
You see that 40-yard daisy cut he played through the Arsenal midfield on Sunday.
Yeah, done like that 3-4 times. You know that through the lines pass is disgusting.
People think he can only do it lofted. He can do it on the ground as well.
He's that guy, bro. He's that guy. And we always try to find a reason why he's not. That's what people like to do. They always try to find a reason why he's not, but he is that guy. The same way Henry's been regarded as that guy, Van Dijk is going to be regarded as that guy. It's as simple as that.
No one comes, in my opinion, no one comes
to do with Gerrard. That's what people try to do with Gerrard. They try to make Gerrard not that guy, but Gerrard is that guy, fam. He's that guy. Like, it's Vieira and Gerrard. That's it. No one else is getting it.
No skulls in there?
I'm not taking out Gerrard or Vieira. So if Scholes wants to play, he can play. Vieira and Gerrard are not coming out of that team.
How could he say I'm not taking out Gerrard?
No, none of them are coming out of the team, bro.
I like my players multifunctional. Thank you very much.
Gerrard and Vieira can't leave the team. They're in that team, bro. Trust me.
Of course. He's always watching.
Chelsea are gonna back their guy. Chelsea are gonna back their guy.
Still. One centre back we actually didn't mention out of all those names was Carvalho, though. We didn't actually mention Carvalho.
He can't compete with these, man.
Bro.
Hey, shout out Mike. He says Rio had to go against 91 goal season Messi. He played against the greatest Barca team ever. VVD is good, but please calm down. Bro, but Rio was getting broke up these times because the back end of his career getting broke up.
Do you remember what Bale did to him? Do you remember what Bale did to him? Rio.
What the? Fam, Rio was getting broke up these times, bro. I'm telling you right now.